breaking shock victory. Jessica Pegula upsets Coco Gauff to conquer the WTA. Finals. The desert winds of Riyadh, whispered through the illuminated corridors of state-of-the-art arena, carrying the scent of excitement, electricity, and expectation. Tonight was no ordinary night. It was a grand finale of the WTA finals where legacies were forged, crowns were claimed, and tennis immortality awaited one woman. Inside, the stadium pulsed like a living heart, thousands of fans beating in unison. Neon lights swirled across the court as the announcer's voice boomed. Welcome to the championship match. Coco Gauff versus Jessica Pegula. Two Americans, two icons, two stories, destined to collide in the storm of fire and precision, the calm before the quake. Jessica Pegula sat in her chair, backstage, practically motionless. To the untrained eye, she looked serene, too serene for the magnitude of the moment. But inside her chest, her heartbeat was steady, time like clockwork, as if she had already made peace with whatever awaited her. People underestimated her calm. They mistook it for softness. They didn't know it was her power. Across the hall, Coco Gauff was pacing, stretching, jumping, filled with a vibrant, explosive energy of youth. She was already a Grand Slam champion, already a global figure, already the face of the future. Her movements radiated confidence, determination, hunger. She wanted this badly, but Pegula didn't want the title. She needed it not for validation from the world. That was Coco's realm, but for the quiet satisfaction of proving to herself that persistence, discipline, and unglamorous hard work could one day conquer even the brightest star. The first serve of fate. When the players walked out, the stadium erupted. Coco wave. Pegula nodded. The energy crackled like static. The first point began with a 22-shot rally, blistering, breath-catching, impossible. Gauff's foot speed was a blur, her forehand a whip, but Pegula absorbed it all, redirecting, paced like an artist. Then came the final shot, a backhand down the line so pure that it sang. Pegula 1-0. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Pegula wasn't here to play safe. She was here to shock the world. Gauff's awakening. Coco Gauff shook her shoulders, exhaled, and unleashed a serve that smacked the back fence before Pegula could react. The crowd roared. Another ace, then a vicious forehand, then a leaping overhead. Gauff held serve at lightning speed, reminding the world why she was tennis's brightest flame. But Pegula didn't blink. This was the theme of the night. Gauff blazing, Pegula unbothered. Every time Coco tried to break Jessica with power, Jessica countered with structure, angles, depth changes of rhythm. At 3-3, the rallies grew longer. The tension grew thicker. The stadium grew quieter. Pegula suddenly stepped inside the baseline and smacked a return winner at 160 km/h break point. Then a moment that silenced even Gauff's biggest fans. Pegula executed a drop shot so delicate it floated like a feather and died on the clay color. Hardcourt. Pegula leads 4-3. A shock wave went through the arena. The first strike. Pegula held serve with astonishing ease. On the set point, she hit an inside-out forehand so crisp it looked computer-generated. Set 1, 6-3. Pegula. The crowd gasped. Reporters whispered. Coco stared at her strings, knowing she'd been outplayed, not by power, but by patience and precision. Her coach shouted instructions. Her fans screamed encouragement. Her heart pulsed with resolve. She wasn't going down. Quietly, Gauff's fury ignites. The second set erupted like a storm. Coco came out, swinging with a fire Pegula hadn't yet seen tonight. A forehand bomb. A Sprinting backhand, a fierce return that. Left puller frozen. Gauff broke serve. Early, pumping her fist toward the crowd. The arena exploded with noise. Gauff 3-1. Pegula towed off. Expression unreadable. She wasn't panicking. She wasn't unraveling. She was waiting for one mistake. One opening. One moment where Coco's fire burned too fast, too hot. And it came at 4-2. Coco over the routine forehand. Then she double faulted. Then Pegula pierced the corner with a return winner. That stunned everyone. Break 4-3. Momentum shifted. The storm began to fade. Pegula began to rise. The turning point at 4-4. The match reached its breaking point. The rally that would be replayed on highlight reels for years. 37 shots. Both players sprinting, sliding, twisting. Pegula using slices. To reset, Coco ripping forehands into every inch of the court. The crowd couldn't breathe. Finally, Pegula took a risk, stepping inside the baseline to take the ball early. She crushed the backhand so flat it grazed the net cord. It clipped, spun, and trickled over. Gauff the ball bounced twice. The stadium exploded into chaos. Pegula raised one finger, not to the crowd, but to herself. One more, serving for the championship at 5-4. Pegula's hands were steady as steel. First point, on return serve. Second point inside in. Forehand winner. Third point Coco over. It under pressure. Triple championship. Point. Pegula steadied herself. Tossed. The ball served wide. Coco returned. Deep, but Pegula was already stepping forward, already feeling destiny in her. Racket. A single shot across court. Forehand. Perfect in final game. Set. Match. Pegula. Jessica Pegula dropped her knees as the stadium erupted into absolute thunder. A shock victory. A career-defining win. A moment that felt both surreal and inevitable. The aftermath of awe. Pegula struggled to breathe as emotion overwhelmed her. She wasn't a player known for big celebrations, but tonight tears sparkled in her eyes. Coco walked to her with grace, extending her arms. "You earned this," she said softly. "Every point." Pegula swallowed hard. "So did you." Their hug said what words couldn't. The crowd stood. The world watched. History was made asterisk during the trophy ceremony. Pegula looked at the shining hardware in her hands. Backstage, reflections away from the spotlight. Pegula sat alone for a moment in the quiet of the locker room. The trophy beside her. The hum of the stadium felt distant now, fading like a dream. She thought about the years she'd spent as the quiet American, the one overlooked, in favor of flashier stars. She thought about injuries, doubts, early exits, and the night she wondered if she'd ever win one of the sport's biggest titles. Tonight answered everything. She didn't win by overpowering Coco. She didn't win by outshining her. She won by outlasting, outthinking, and outbelieving. For Pegula, this wasn't upset. It was a moment her career had been patiently building toward. Brick by brick, match by match, day by day, a champion's legacy. As Pegula exited the arena near midnight, fans lined the walkway, cheering her name. She gave high fives, posed for selfies, and smiled with quiet pride she rarely let the world see. When she finally reached her car, she looked once more at the giant screen outside the arena. Shock, victory. Jessica Pegula upsets Coco Gauff to conquer the WTA finals. A headline. The world would wake up to a headline. That captured the shock, but not the story, because the real story wasn't that Coco lost. It was that Jessica Pegula finally, undeniably, irrevocably won, and as she leaned back in her seat, trophy glowing beside her, the word slipped from her lips like a promise. This isn't the end. This is my beginning. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share.